Hey folks, welcome to Bouncing Brains. I'm Sean Hatfield.
And I'm Freddy G.
Joining us today, Cristofer Torres.
Hi, nice to meet y'all.
How you doing, brother?
I'm sorry,
Good,
I did
man.
not catch your name.
I'm Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Yeah, and Tiffany. Chris, I hear you're going to play some music for us.
Yes, I'm going to be playing maybe one or two songs for y'all. For y'all that don't know me, I'm coming from San Benito. Nothing comes from San Benito, which is why I'm coming from there. So, yeah, hopefully y'all enjoy this music. So we're going to have this.
You mind giving them a little bit, if you can, giving them a little bit of background on the two songs on the song that you're going to play?
Okay, well, you kind of caught me off guard because I didn't even know what songs I was going to play.
Oh, shit.
I caught that. Why
I was
didn't
just
you?
going to wing it, bro. Oh, damn. Okay.
No, we'll continue with the music.
I honestly don't know what I'm going to play. I think I'm going to play one of the songs that I'm going to play is Christina's song, which is dedicated to I wrote it for my cousin that passed away. She was I'm not sure what age, either 18 or 19, but she passed away about 3 years ago, and I've always had her on my guitar, and she's been my inspiration, along with Tiffany, of course. But she was always there to support me when I was not even going out there and playing my music and stuff like that. So that's probably Christina's songs, one of the first songs that I actually performed live. You know what I mean? And then I keep her here with me.
Where did you perform it?
I believe I performed it at the Prelude at the time.
Oh,
Where did you first perform it?
I believe I performed it at the Prelude at the time.
Didn't you perform it when she passed away?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah. No, when she passed away, I ended up playing the song at her funeral for the first time. So that was like the first time that I actually got out there, which doesn't really count, because that's like really deep and personal stuff to where like you don't really think about it being a performance you're playing because you're doing it for the person you love,
yeah.
And she always wanted him to do live performances.
Yeah. She always wanted me. She's like, we would go to the Prelude, me and her, and she would be like, you should go up there. I'm like, no, hell no, man. I'm scared. Just do it. You got it. And I'm like, hell no, I'm scared. And unfortunately, she never got to experience this. But her mom still supports me and stuff like that. She knows that I'm going to keep her memory living on and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's one of the songs I'm going to be doing.
That is awesome.
Okay, well, whenever you're ready, Chris.
Oh, we're doing this now?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I didn't even know.
You do know we've been recording, right?
No, I didn't even know we were recording. I thought we were just practicing.
No,
No, dude, we're in it.
You're going to hear all of this.
No, I'm not. Okay, no, I need these now. Here. You got these?
Yeah, we have no problem letting our audience know how the soup is made. Just
Yeah. This is very raw.
Very raw.
Yeah.
All right.
it's actually what most of our Yelp reviews say. Salmonella.
Hopefully I don't mess up with it. We'll see how it goes. was Christina's song. I'm sorry for the mess ups, man. Sorry for the mess ups, man. Didn't get in practice.
I'm not saying it because we're recording right now, but I didn't realize any mess ups. Other than the fact that I saw you kind of move back from the mic, but I just thought that you were gonna go loud. So, but other than that, it was awesome.
It's because he starts jamming out hard.
Yeah, appreciate it. So yeah, that was dedicated to my little cousin Cristina Ortiz. I love you forever, I promise.
Right on, man. Right on. Can you kill the reverb?
Oh yeah.
Actually, I don't even think you need to pull that far back away from the mic when you're doing the vocals. Just
Okay.
again, studio notes for the audience. But yeah, it's coming through.
Okay, awesome, man.
Going through good. Yeah, man. Layered, I think, would be the simplest thing I could say, man. That was fucking nice.
And like when it comes to like music like that, with everything, every time I listen to music, what I listen to for are the lyrics. And if I'm able to get lost in lyrics or really pay attention to the lyrics, and if they take me somewhere in my mind, that's what really captivates me as a listener. Or whatever.
Yes.
And because you listen to a lot of music, 85% of the music out there right now, they ain't really talking about nothing. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to. So, and that's what I was going to say when we actually got into the talking part of the segment.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I first found you. I was going to say when I first discovered you, like if I'm Quincy Jones or something.
When I first discovered you.
When I first
like Don King.
when I first ran into you, your music, that's the first thing that caught my eye and my ear about you was the lyrics. Mm-hmm. Because I saw that your music, like, it gets very dark, but it, like, to me, in a good way, because it makes you think, and then it kind of makes you feel like if somebody's going through the same thing or something similar, you kind of relate to like what you're
very deep.
Very deep about in your song and shit. So that's what when I heard you, bro, I was like there's talent there. Cause believe me, I've heard other people. Yeah, I'm not gonna name drop, but they just have no business behind the mic, But then again, they probably say the same shit about me when they see me. This guy tells jokes. But yeah, man. What I wanted to cap it off with was that by your lyrics and your delivery, you can also tell that you put a lot of thought in your bars. You know what I'm saying? So like that and as I'm telling you this, and ever since we've had these conversations, I just keep thinking in the back of my head like album. So you need to put it together, man. So.
Yeah, and that's hopefully
even if it's an EP, bro.
Hopefully for 2019,
you gotta give me something.
Hopefully for 2019, man. That's what I'm shooting for, like, honestly. And when it comes to music and all that stuff, and like writing the lyrics, bro, like, I just want to get lost, man. And whenever I'm writing and stuff, like I tell my girl, I was like, I've been sitting here for like 6 hours and it feels like 5 minutes passed by. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, because you want to just get deeper and deeper, and it could take so many different routes. And then you think about, like, if you really think about it, I was talking to her the other night, and it was like, I want my lyrics to be there just in case someone there needs to hear something that I have to say. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's potential to save like someone's life. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? That's how deep I want to get. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like
what you were saying, like how it grabs you, like you.
Yeah, because it makes you think, and when you're able to do that, like no matter what state of mind you may be, you never know if somebody else in the audience, even whether it's 5 people or 50 people, out of those 50 people, there could be somebody that could be in the same state of mind.
Yeah.
And because of what you said through your lyrics or your music, you can captivate them and either change their way of thinking, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what,
Is that not blowing your mind?
And that's the thing. Like that's what I was trying to say. There's people with their music that are not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's no message. There's nothing behind.
Freddie,
They're just lyrics, and it's a beat.
I'm not even kidding you, Freddie. We had just had this exact conversation like several nights.
Yeah.
Like,
ago.
I mean, he said everything you're saying. He said it several nights
Yeah,
ago.
about that one person in the audience.
He's like, what if there's that one person in the audience, babe, that needs to hear what I'm saying, needs to hear what I'm singing about.
And it's like you weren't meant to be here listening to these lyrics right now, but there's a reason why you came to this particular show to hear these lyrics.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the reason why, and maybe it's going to change their mindset. And you know what I mean? And that's what I want. That's always what I wanted. That's always what I wanted. Like, I want to change people's minds and people's perspectives, because I've gone through like so much stuff, and like, I'd rather me go through it and put it out through what I know how to do.
Yeah.
To try and help somebody else that might be wanting to go down that path.
Yeah.
That doesn't really have to, you know what I mean? Because like, there's a lot of dead ends.
And I think it's like that with every art form that you do, whether it be poetry, whether it be singing, whether it be songwriting, whether it be comedy. Me and Sean have had these conversations on a number of times where, and I've told Sean before, and I tell this to everybody, I'm the same way, man. Like, with me and my comedy, no matter what I say, like, I don't want you and I don't need you to agree with me, as long as I can force an opinion out of you, even if that opinion is not like mine. I just, like, that's my job.
Yeah.
As a comic, I have 2 jobs: to make you laugh. If I don't make you laugh, I want to force an opinion out of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you make these changes and these impacts with people. And like I said, through your music and your lyrics, it's very. You played one song when we first met. I don't know if you played it since, but it was like, I was listening to the lyrics, and it was something that like it grabbed my attention. And then I just saw you like get lost in it, and then I just kept thinking, I was like, this guy is really going for it. Like,
and then when you get lost in
my head, because you went into the bridge, I think it was you did like the intro and everything, and then you went into like a bridge, and as soon as you hit that bridge, bro, I saw where you got lost, and in my head I was like, this dude just took off, like he's gone.
And you don't remember any part of the song?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was too long ago. But I do remember that it was the very first time that I saw you perform. It was the first time I saw you perform, and I believe it was the first song that you performed. Because the first time I saw you perform, I think you did 3 songs. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I played it again, but I'm just not too positive.
And I haven't seen you much. Like, I haven't seen you perform much. Like, after the first couple of times.
Yeah.
And that's my fault, and we haven't been able.
No, yeah, we've been disconnecting and stuff. Like, everybody, life's hectic and stuff like that.
I've witnessed where he's like literally captivated the audience, where he's silenced the audience, where girls have literally like come into tears. Freddie, seriously, like it's insane. And like, you'll hear everybody talking, and then all of a sudden, like, everybody is like in complete just quiet, and they're in awe, and they're just staring at him. But that's when he's just like, when he gets there, he knows what he's going for, and he has to believe it, and he has to believe in himself, and he's out there.
I've found a lot of times, a lot of musicians that use the reverb when they're going for the solo performance, like you are. They're doing it just to kind of fill the noise. But when you get to that place where you can use it as part of the instrument, where you're getting those harmonics in there, where you know what I mean, it's creating that little that closing bit that you had there on that song, like that. Just it tops it off, and it's part of it. It's not just
it's.
And I say that as a fan of 70s punk, where it's just the feedback and the popping is it's part of it, but it's not. It's unintentional almost. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, that takes a lot of work.
And I man, this little device right here, man, it's like helping me be like a full band, even though I'm not like a full
I say
band
he's the one-man band.
Yeah. And for years, like a couple of years, man, I've been trying to find the right people to, you know, like I bought like everything. I bought drum set, I bought a bass, I bought a bass amp, I bought a PA system.
so you are going for the band.
You just can't find anyone.
And everything that I bought just gathered dust, and I was like, you know what, like, what's the point of me having this stuff? You know what I mean? It's been waiting here for years, bro. And
can I give you like my personal opinion? And like you don't have to go with, you know what I'm saying? But like I've noticed that you have so much talent, like by yourself, and you're able to manage and put that sound out like as a solo artist.
Yeah.
So what I can't sing for shit, bro. I'm glad that comedy is a one-man thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if I had to depend on somebody else, I'd be fucked, you know. But you're able to pull that off. So why not focus on you and work as a solo artist and take off and make your bread and butter that way? And then if the band comes along, then it comes. And if it doesn't come along, you don't want to, because I mean, having a band is cool, man. But like you just said right now, it's really difficult, man, to find people, to find three people, bro. Three people to be as dedicated and inspiring. Like they need to be hungry, bro.
And have you met musicians? They're hard to deal with.
And they have to have the right intentions, because like I've come across a few people that are like, yeah, let's do this. We'll get so famous. And you know what I mean? Like for me,
as
like
soon
it's
as
not
those are the red flags, dude.
And he doesn't want fame.
Those are the red flags. Anybody that tells you off the get-go, we gonna make so much money and we gonna get famous, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Because they're telling you, they're right then and there, they're screaming at you, I'm doing this for the money.
Yeah.
For them.
You need to I'm not talking about you, because I know you do it for that reason, but if you're gonna go with somebody else, we need to find somebody that's gonna do it because they love to do what they do.
Yeah.
I tell this to everybody. I tell this all the time when I get a chance to talk to like up and coming comics, and you hear that in comedy too. Like, yeah, it's because like there's money in comedy, and I tell them, if you're looking to get in comedy to get a quick buck, there's no quick buck here, man. Money will come, but eventually, and I really mean eventually. You might be able to see profit in 10 years, and you gotta be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because in comedy, it's something that you cultivate, man.
The problem with both comedy and music is all everybody hears about is the overnight sensation.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, he got $1 million contract? It's like, yeah, but they don't tell you about the 10,000 other people that are doing what he's doing and not achieving that for one circumstance or another.
It's like, and I'm not afraid to tell you this, what I'm about to say, or anybody, man. Like I hear, like you told me, you and your girl have told me more than once that you feel that I'm hilarious when I'm on stage, and you said that. I didn't say you.
Yeah.
You said,
yeah.
And I feel that that's genuine, and that's cool, and I appreciate it, and I thank you. But what a lot of people don't know, man, is that I didn't get funny overnight, man. Like, people don't know how many stages I got booed off of, how many times I got the silent treatment, how many times people just fucking stared at me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like people thought that I just got on stage and I was like funny, you know what I mean? You don't know how many times I fucking froze. I had nothing to say. I got on stage and I forgot my whole set, and I was like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like, but now that they see, oh, he's funny and everything, this shit did not happen. Like, I didn't get on stage and it's like, hi, everybody's laughing. No,
Yeah.
it's just people don't understand the work that comes.
Yeah, it's
So that's what I wanted to tell you too with your music, is I remember me and you had this conversation a while back about how you felt that when you would perform sometimes down here, you didn't feel like a genuine love from people with like your music.
Yeah.
And then that's why I told you, you gotta do it for you and because you love it, and eventually the people and everything else will come. Like it'll come.
Yeah, it'll fall. It'll
dude,
eventually fall together.
I didn't get I didn't get not one compliment until like 4 or 5 years deep of me doing this shit. 4 years, bro. For 4 or 5 years, people didn't even know that I was a comedian. Like I would pull up at these open mics and at the little clubs and stuff, and people thought I was like the door dude or some shit. And then they see me on stage and go, oh, he's a comic. And then they would hear me and it's like, well, like, when does the funny start? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just something that, and but with your music, man, like, just wait for it and do it because you love it, and it'll come. Because I remember you telling me that one time that it would really discourage you, and one time you said something that really scared me as a fan. You said that you were thinking of not doing it anymore. Yeah, you said,
I remember.
I don't want to do it anymore.
I remember telling you that, man, because you do get discouraged, man. Like, I went through a 6-month like dry period to where like I just wanted to like completely just like shut myself down, just lock myself up, and not do anything, and I didn't even pick up my guitar, nothing, man. I was just like in mental lockdown, man, because of so much stress that I was going through with a whole bunch of different stuff, working overnight and stuff like that. It messes with your mind, you know what I mean? Insomniac and stuff like that. It was really messing with my mind. It was like, man, I'm done with this. I'm not going to try anymore. You know what I mean? And I recently just stepped out of it, and I've been trying to get back into it. And I'm slowly... It's like that fire's being relit again, you know what I mean? And that's what I want to do, like I'm finding myself again. Because for like 6 months, I was lost. I was completely lost.
Yeah, he went through I can't even say it was a dry spell. He just literally shut down.
It was like a major lockdown inside my head.
Yeah.
Like major lockdown.
Is there you mentioned, Jesus, fucking just went out of my head. The place down in Harlingen, the music venue.
The Prelude.
Prelude, there you go. I know a lot of musicians down there tend to be tight-knit, at least a bit as a community. I mean, I don't know how much collaboration they're doing, but I mean, do you have that support base within the music community? You're shaking your head. No, not at all.
He's a solo.
I honestly have like, when I go perform, like people give me props and stuff or whatever, like afterwards they'll be like, hey, you did a good set or whatever. But like, other than that, like there's nobody really that is actually going to follow me and support me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, my family,
another
another
piece of advice that I would give you, man. What music, comedy, same thing. Like, you have to understand, again, it goes back to doing it for the love that you have for the music, right? But you also have to understand that there's going to be times where you're going to perform for 500 people, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But there's literally times that you will perform for 5. And you got to be willing to perform the exact same way with the same intensity and vigor for 5 like you do for 500.
We had just had this exact same. You're blowing my mind, because what you said about him being amazing as a solo artist, like by himself. I had just said this to him 2 times, 2 days in a row, that he's absolutely fabulous by himself. He's amazing.
Plus, man,
honestly,
think about it this way. If you really want to think about the money side, keep all the royalties to yourself.
No, and he is, because I feel he is so like how you said he's so talented. I honestly I can't see anyone else coming into the picture that I can't see it. I can't see it. I cannot see it. And then also too, we talked about how he went to a performance once and literally there was like 5 people there watching him. And he was ultimately as fantastic as he was the other night that he performed for a whole room.
I honestly think I do better when I'm just fucking playing for her.
And he is so amazing.
Because I'm way more comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's way different. Like even playing in front of like
you should
3 people, bro.
You should see it at home.
That's
he's
another
so
thing
great.
that I was going to tell you. Like,
and I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed.
I lost my train of thought.
Well, part of the reason I was bringing up the community is I have noticed more and more the don't get me wrong, doing the open mics and stuff with the comedy, the mixed open mics. I mean, you know, where it's you got the poets, you got the comics, you got the musicians and all that. I do notice there seems to be a much more similar mentality between solo musicians and comedians than, say, you know, the band. Don't be wrong. Here's the thing. Bands make great like audience members because they'll stick around and watch us afterwards, you know, have a few drinks and they're usually the most excited. But when you start getting into these conversations about like, you know, the process of having to maintain the focus and the dark periods, myself, I've just in the last few years become comfortable with the creative people I know having those periods and not being like, dude, you need to get back. It's like, no, either you will find your way through that or you won't. And with comedy, it's like you can't, you know, we can call people up and be like, hey, I haven't seen you at the open mics in a while. When you writing new stuff, you doing this, and it's not really you can't grab them by the lapels and be like, right, damn you, right. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, true.
I mean, at least with a band, you'd be like, motherfucker, you showing up for practice or we're finding a new drummer.
Yeah. Man, I completely understand that.
And the other thing is, man, that like, I have a friend, going back to like you wanting to be in a band and you doing your thing solo. I had this friend in California. His name's Aaron. And this dude, that's all he did, played the guitar. He had one acoustic guitar, one microphone. And that was it. Like that's all he did. So this dude would just go everywhere. I mean, I get it. And LA is different because there's an open mic, there's a comedy club, there's a musician thing in every corner.
Yeah.
But the point is that it was just him. So he was a songwriter and he was amazing, dude, at writing songs. So my thing is that with him, it was him and his acoustic guitar. So he would go play everywhere. So he started getting notoriety and a big following on social media. And this was just barely when Facebook was taking off. And that's all he had, Facebook. It was like back in 2007. You know, Facebook had only been around for a couple of years. So he started building his following from there. My point to that is that that's all he had. He had one microphone, his acoustic guitar, and he would set up shop anywhere. And he would perform and he would sing. And people were just drawn in to his like one-man performance, dude. And then he started to fill up little clubs in California. He started printing out his own flyers. So he would go out throughout the week. He's like, I'm going to be at this spot, whatever. And people would follow him to like wherever he was performing. Yeah. My point with that is that I learned from him, and I was going to tell you, if the one-man thing works for you, and because I don't doubt your music. Your music is awesome. People just need to hear it. So all I'm telling you is you just need to like keep at it, and you'll be successful as like a one-man band or what have you. Yeah. You just need to keep at it. Don't focus too much of like when is the band gonna come? Is the band gonna come? Because that'll keep you distracted from your creativity, and that'll, believe it or not, it'll stop you. It'll stop you from being the best musician that you possibly can be. When I started in comedy, and it was stupid, bro. This is how I know that I was way wrong. when I started in comedy, like I started, my whole mentality and my goal was I want to land in front of an agent. I want to be somewhere, and I want that agent to be in the audience. And I was like, that's all I want. So I kept pushing, and I was like, if I perform here, there might be somebody. And also because it was LA and everything, and I was like, if I perform here, like there might be somebody. And I started noticing that by me doing that, I started leaving my writing. I kept going over the same shit, and which is fine. You can always perfect your craft, but I started like not writing because that was all my focus. I wasn't focusing on my performances or anything like that. And I started to see that I wasn't growing, and it was because of that. It was because my focus was so big on like I want to perform in front of an agent because I wanted to get there. The minute that I started focusing on writing and performing and perfecting the craft and going and performing, and like I said, whether it was 3 people or 20, I was performing the same way. I started to see that I began to grow. Yeah. And then my following started to grow. And to be honest with you, man, now that I figured out how the game works, like as far as the comedy thing goes, I'm dead honest with you right now. I don't worry that much. I don't worry about an agent anymore because I already figured out if the agent doesn't come, I've learned to do things myself. Like I don't need an agent, is what I'm saying. Because I've already learned how it works. And that has allowed me now to fully concentrate on my craft, on writing. I write every day. So on writing, coming up with new material, how can I perfect what I already have, perfect my performance, my stage presence, and then eventually somebody will come. Yeah, and if they don't, just like you, if the band doesn't come, you got everything, bro. I'd watch you on a stage by yourself, like, and all I'm saying is you'll be fine. You'll be fine, and you'll be able to grow your audience. Like you don't need that band or what have you. So just keep doing it and don't quit.
Yeah, honestly, that's all I'm trying to do. Just like focus and like what you said, working on the craft and stuff like that, perfecting all of the songs that I have written and stuff like that. Just beat them down, just getting it down. I've gone over these songs like 100 millions of times, bro. Yeah. Like every night, man.
But he's so great.
Just constant,
and it changes every time. You'd be so surprised. He's fantastic.
There's not one time that I'll play a song the same way because depending on the way I'm feeling, like
it changes.
My vocals can change, depending on the way I'm feeling inside.
It's kind of like we do it with comedy. Sometimes we'll switch a joke out or we'll switch a punchline. Dude, I have like 10 different punchlines to like the same joke, you know what I'm saying? But the reason that I do it is because I tend to look at the crowd, and depending on what I see and what I feel, I might, like I was telling you off camera, when I performed at that place, there was a girl in a wheelchair, and I had a split second to either change it or do I go with it, and it was a risk that I either had to take or not take, and sometimes you just got to go with your gut, man. Yeah. But it's good to have those changes. Like you can change the way you sing it, you can change the lyrics. If it's not like that, I'll sing it like this.
Yeah.
Maybe I go into the hook faster or slower, or the hook will be higher or lower.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand.
And that's the good thing about like writing your own original stuff, because like it's your original music, so like you don't have to go based on what somebody else wrote.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people ask me, why don't you cover this song? Why don't you cover this song? It's because like I don't get the same feeling singing somebody else's lyrics. Material, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because like, you didn't write it. You didn't create it.
What I mean? It has to come. You had to sing from your heart, or like even I don't know if it's the same for comedy or whatever. But like when you talk from your heart, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely. We were actually just talking about this on the last episode. that there is comedians that have writers, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, that doesn't sit well with me, but I mean, it sits well with other people. I mean, it's fine. Like to them, it's whatever. But to me, I've always been like that. Like, I would never let anybody write a joke for me, or have a writer, or have a ghostwriter, because, like you said, one, I didn't write it. Two, it's not my feeling. It didn't come from me. It may not even express exactly how I feel. So if I can't say something exactly how it is that I feel, you're not going to get it with the same emotion.
Yeah.
So it's not going to have the same impact.
Yeah.
So that's the problem that I have with writers. I don't know if you know this about me, but when I was back in high school, I used to do the whole rap thing. I actually recorded a couple of demos and whatnot. And even back then, dude, when I used to write lyrics, I never let anybody ghostwrite for me or anything. I had to write anything. I had to write everything, and it had to come from me. Now, like I was telling Sean too, I don't mind, because he's done it to me. Like, I don't mind people giving me suggestions, but I won't let you write it for me. Like he's told me. I was going to say,
to balance that out a little bit, you can be a little bit too militant with that attitude, and I've seen it myself, where somebody will come up, a comic will come up afterwards, somebody who knows how to write jokes, and they'll go like, dude, have you thought about this? Or, just a thought, but here's like a line, a tag or something like that. And the initial reaction is no, it's mine. But they're just, you got to be open up a little bit.
And I've gotten from two people. I've gotten where they were like, "Hey man, that joke was funny or whatever." But have you tried maybe saying the same thing, but say it like this? And I have tried it, bro. And when they've told me, it worked. Like, it worked for the better. Like, it landed. Larry Garza did that, and because of Larry, one of my jokes now I get more of a laugh, and I get a more extended laugh and stuff. And because he saw it from a different perspective.
Yeah, I think people get confused about that one.
You gotta.
Yeah, let me go real quick. I'm sorry for interrupting the show.
No, you're good.
Yeah, continue your conversation. I'll be right back.
I was going to say, you do get that conversation when it comes to comics having writers. I think there is a distinct difference between somebody who is literally has like writers where they're, here's some new materials. I like this one. Or something like what Chris Rock apparently used to do, which is he would take like 3 or 4 comics with him into these warm-up shows, and it's like perform the act, and they're sitting on the sideline writing out notes for him. So it's
really,
yeah. And these are professional comics. He was taking guys like Louis C.K. and I forget some of the other names, but
and that's okay, because I know like Dave Chappelle does the same thing. He travels with a team. But they don't.
I've seen his team; they're hilarious.
They don't write for him. Like, they don't write his material. What they do is, like, he writes all his material. He goes on stage and he performs it, and then their job is just to take notes. But what they take notes on the crowd reaction, on the delivery of the material, and then they go back and tell them. I was like, when you said this, they got this reaction. If you would have said this slower, or taken your time, or paused here,
and that's what they're supposed to do for him.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like that's okay. It's just when
I did not know that.
Yeah, when
and I followed Dave Chappelle forever.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and it's really an acknowledgement of the fact is you can't. A great example is listening back to your material once you've recorded it, and there are hours of comics in interviews talking about this. Having to listen back to those performances can be just cringe-inducing, because even if subjectively you did good, like objectively, you can always find that little thing in there. It's, I could have done this, I could have done that, and that just, while you're listening back to your own voice say these words, and you're like,
Yeah.
So having someone there that can go like, no, don't worry about that. This is what you need to be focused on. This is.
It's like when you record music. I mean, I know you've never like really performed in a studio or in a booth, but that is the sole purpose of the producer. You're gonna go in there and you have your song. And you know what you're gonna sing. You know your melody. You know your chords. The producer does that too. But normally, a lot of the professional producers, what I know that they do is they'll have you and do like a test run, and they'll just go. You go in the booth. You play the song, and they let you go. Like you record the song the way that you want. And then what they do is like they'll watch you and they'll listen and they'll put it on the playback, and then they go and they tell you, all right, man, you did this like this. You have this bridge here. It'd be best if you do it like this. Change this a little bit. This got to be slower. And then that's how they're basically like they're polishing you.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing that I was going to tell you when it comes to like a band and playing solo. When you're a musician, bro, and you want to be successful, even as a comic, you need to be able to step out of yourself, and you have to be able to recognize and know that you're not always necessarily gonna have the best idea, and it's okay to let somebody else kind of like steer you in a way. Just don't let them run you into the ground, but that's what a producer's job is. So that's the only other thing that I was going to tell you, that if you ever do decide to like record professionally in the studio, just be ready for that. Because a lot of people,
don't worry, I'll be there, so they won't be able to run him into the ground that far.
No, but like you, I was just saying, be ready for that.
Yeah,
and just be prepared to allow that to happen, because a lot of people, because they're not able to let go of that ego, like they've messed up like $1 million relationships, and millions of dollars in albums have not gone out because of that. It's like some I mean, you may not know.
What do you mean? Because they're set on their sound?
Yeah, like I was gonna give you a great example. So, and then this is what happens to fans like me. There was, I don't know how extensive your knowledge is with hip hop, but there was a Rakim and Dr. Dre album, a collab album on the way. This was years ago, and that album never saw the light of day because just ego. Rakim and Dre would not let go.
Didn't we see the documentary about that?
Possibly. That actually does sound familiar.
We watched the documentary on that.
Yeah, and that record never came for years, dude. They shelved it. They actually went back and they tried working on it again, and it came out. It came out that it was just because Dre wouldn't like loosen up. Rakim wouldn't loosen up, and it just didn't. It never happened.
Yeah, man. That's at a certain point where you talk about like the fan reaction. If Detox came out tomorrow, I ain't picking it up, man. I said years ago, man, this motherfucker takes another 10 years to make an album.
To me, and then you get that, and to me, I'm still waiting on fucking Dre to drop the original. I still remember, dude. The original release date for the Detox was November 17th, 2004, bro.
When did it come out?
It hasn't come out.
It never came out.
No.
It's sitting on the same shelf with the Rakim collab.
Yeah.
So
you're not going to buy it when it comes out?
I will. He won't.
he'll just
borrow
listen
his
to
copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, my point to that is because of ego and creative differences, like that shit, like has things like that happen.
Yeah.
And then you miss out on that fan base, because we just want to hear good music, man. And that's one thing that bothers me the most. Like, I know for a fact that record with Dr. Dre and Rakim, I've never heard it because it's never been out, but that would have been a classic record.
Yeah.
It would have been classic, bro, because those dudes in the studio are geniuses by themselves, and together it would have just been crazy. So if you ever like get to that point, just always know that it doesn't matter how creative you can be with your own music. Just know that sometimes stepping aside from your own creativity and stepping outside yourself can make for
yeah, maybe
better
like
music,
yeah,
you know
when I was writing the song, I guess like a year ago, I had most of the lyrics written out and everything, and I was playing the song, you know, by myself inside my room, and then Tiffany shows up to the house, and we spent like another hour on that song. Oh my god! And it completely took like a different turn.
Boys in the magazine?
Yeah, and it completely took a different turn.
I was going to talk to them about that.
For the better, like, see, so yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from, because I was going in a completely different direction from where it winded up,
read
and
my
it's just
mind.
like,
because I wanted to tell you
Yeah.
guys about Boys in the Magazine as well.
yeah,
'Cause that song is just, he wrote it, and I got there. It's so weird that he mentioned it, and we were just, that's probably like the only song that I think we worked together on it, and man, he was like, let's do it this way, and then I was like, how about you add this line, and then he was like, well, how about I add this, and then I was like, how about you add that, and it was just like, we went nuts, and we worked for hours and hours, and went for days, and that song ended up a hit, and I think till this day
it's a hit that nobody's
hit.
heard.
No, let me tell you this. It's a hit. No, let me tell you this. When he performed it, he shocked the crowd, and I think he's afraid of the song.
No, yeah, I won't play that
He's
song.
afraid of the song because it's so good. He plays it at the house all the time, but it's so intricate because it involves so much. There's so much going on, and it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good, and he's so talented. But it involves a lot of work, and it's an amazing piece. I'll tell you that. It's an amazing piece, and we worked so hard. We worked so hard, but he did an amazing job, and he's so good at the song.
Yeah.
But he won't play it for you because I don't know why. He's afraid of the song.
Yeah, I know that song scares
So,
me. but-
something
It scares him. It scares him. It's so good. It scares him.
something that I really wanted you to talk about, man, because I think it'll help us all, especially the people watching and listening. You've talked to me a lot about having stage fright.
Yes.
Can you talk about how that affects you, how you deal with it, and if you management or if you don't manage it?
Yeah, with the stage fright, man.
Well, before you continue, can you, from your perspective, from your point of view, can you explain what stage fright is to people watching and listening?
Okay, stage fright is when you know you can do it. You know you can do it. It's like, okay, I could do this because I'm all by myself. Like right now, if nobody was here, like I'd be able to like lose myself and stuff like that. But once you get in front of like one person, two people, three people, even if it's like 500 people, no matter what size crowd it is, if it's 4, that's still like 1 million people.
Yeah.
2 people is 1 million people to me.
To
you know what I mean?
Because of your stage fright.
Yeah, because stage fright just like, it puts you on lockdown, bro. It puts you on lockdown, man. It's just like a mental thing that you have to deal with. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of sort of slowly getting over it. I'm getting over it like little bit by little bit, but like I still get stage fright, bro. Like I was getting stage fright coming over here, man.
How did
I really was like, I was pacing back up. Like
how did
the
you-
way, the what I do usually, and she tells me, she's like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? And my tendency
It drives me crazy.
before I go on stage, when I know it's already it's time for me to almost get on stage, I'm just pacing back and forth.
And I know
pacing back and
him.
forth.
I know his.
Pacing back and
I know
forth.
his little ticks too.
And I go outside,
I know him
I'll
like
smoke
the
like
back
2
of my
cigarettes,
hand. I know
you
him
know.
like the back of my hand.
Come
I know how he
in,
is.
yeah, I'll come in, go outside, come in, go outside, come in, go outside, and I can't stand still.
And it's not every time either. I know when he's having a good day and a good performance day, and I know when he's like that and he's like a wreck. So there's times that he's gonna be okay, and then there's times that he's like a wreck, and
Yeah.
he's just in and out, in and out, in and out.
So what is it?
Ask him how he got on stage the first time.
How do you deal with it? How do you make it work for you? Basically, is what I'm saying.
I have to like get out of my body. Like that's really the most I can say. Like I have to not be present in order for me to perform there. I want to. It's like I can't be present. Like I have to. I can't really describe what I do.
That's
Like-
kind of where I was going. Like,
Yeah,
is there something that you do or not do?
I just can't be present. Like I can't be present within myself once I get on stage.
You don't know what you do to get there. Is what you're saying?
No, I don't. Like I just can't be present. Like
I was gonna give you an example because I suffer from the exact same thing. Like
Okay.
I have stage fright. My stage fright is like really bad, The thought of people just looking at me,
Yeah.
literally, it just panics the fuck out of me. And I've had people look at me with that confused face too. they're like, why the fuck would you want to do comedy then? If you know what I'm saying? So, but what I've like that's the example I was going to give you. What I've noticed that works for me was I get stage fright. This is the way I explain it. I get stage fright right until the point that I'm about to get on stage. So what I do normally while I'm backstage is I'll pick up my phone, and this is what I have on my phone, right? So what I'll do is for people that can't see, I showed them a picture of my daughter. So what I've noticed that helps me is I'll go through pictures of my daughter. I'll just scroll through nothing but pictures of my daughter, and I start to picture in my head. My daughter's only about to be 2, man, but I'll picture in my head like her watching me, and I don't know why. Like her watching me soothes me, and it like calms me down. So I feel like this sense of relief, and then once I feel the sense of relief, like I'm able to like walk on stage. So then when I get on stage, like I still feel it. I'm not saying it goes away.
Yeah.
I'm just saying for that period I can cope with it. And then once I get on stage and I lay out the first joke and drop the first punchline, once I get that first laugh, it's rolling from me.
Okay, then that's
What sucks is when you go on there, you lay out the first joke, you throw the first punchline, and no one laughs, and it's like, oh shit.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if he's ever. I know he's noticed, but when he starts singing, he's always looking at me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
the whole
do have
time.
friends
Thank
that
you,
are doing
thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder. So I almost skipped that part, and it's real important. That's the initial process. Once I get on stage, what I notice that carries me throughout my performance is and I don't know if I've ever admitted this on camera, but I look at the crowd. I look at the crowd, everybody, and I can see their face. That's what makes me more nervous, right? But what I do is I scope the crowd within the first 15 seconds that I'm on there, and I find one face, and I isolate that face, and I look at that person throughout my whole performance. I block everybody else out, and I just look at that person, and then it makes me feel like I'm just talking to them.
Yeah.
So when I do that, it starts to feel like a conversation.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks is, and it's happened to me before, I look back, like I'll be talking to them, whatever, and I'm throwing my jokes out there, they're landing, they're laughing, and I'm staring at this person, right? And I never take my eye off them. But it has happened before where, for whatever reason, because I'm pacing back and forth on stage, because and I'm doing that, and I'll turn around and I'll look back, and that person left, and it's like, oh fuck, and then I like it becomes a fucking blur, bro, and it's like, and I completely panic again, and it's
They
like
left their conversation.
exactly. It's like, this bitch just let me talk to you, but then I remember, just like, dude, there's a whole audience here.
Yeah.
So then I have to.
You have to pick someone else to
I have
talk
to
to.
quickly recoup and find somebody else. And by the way, if I've never admitted that on camera, that is my secret. Now you know.
Dude, that's very similar to something I've heard from a lot of comedians, where it's like you're, and I'm racking my brain right now trying to figure out which specific comic said it, because they said it very eloquently. That one person that's laughing, like, your initial thought is, well, I can't just concentrate on them because there's a whole room full of people. But their response is the response you're looking for. If you're getting the feedback that you need to get that.
To feed off of.
Yeah.
And if you're talking to them, you're talking to everybody. They are a representation
of everybody else.
whole. So.
It's like you. It's like you with your music. It's the same thing, bro. Like, if you were to sing, like you just said it yourself right now, if you were to sing just to that one person, it makes you feel like calm and cool and collected like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you another way that I tried it once, that it fucked with me. So, because sometimes it backfires. I did that, and I was staring at that person, and the same thing. I had already done the process talking to that person. Then I don't know why my eyes wandered off of that person, and then it was a bar, like it was a bar, with alcohol and everything. I don't know why, bro. I got my eyes off that person, and I saw a kid in the crowd. He was like 7, and in my head I was like, how the fuck did a 7-year-old get in the bar? You know, because he's poor. And then that fucked me up, because then I forgot my punchline. I forgot my, you know what I mean?
You should have used that as a joke.
I don't know, because what if his parents were there? See, I think about all of that.
Well, it's not just that, but that whole like blank slate thing. I saw it happen last night with a comic where someone said something, they went on a riff, and then it was like, fuck, what joke was I doing?
Yeah. So yeah, man, like that's what I do. That's what I do to cope with it. And like I said before, by me saying this, I'm not saying that it makes my stage fright go away, because I have not, in all the years that I've been dealing with the stage fright, I have not yet figured out how to get rid of it completely. So it makes me feel like it's something that I'm never gonna get rid of. Everybody keeps telling me that as I do it more and more and more, it'll eventually go away. It's been years, bro.
Don't tell me that, man, because a lot of people have been telling me
I was going to say, you're saying this in front of the wrong person. Don't say that.
No.
Hold on, let me throw a thought at y'all, because I've considered this a lot. I don't necessarily get stage fright, but the response I do get makes me, and the people telling me about this, especially the way Freddy puts it, and I'm getting the sense that that's very similar to what you're saying. I'm wondering if maybe that's an over empathetic response, where you're trying to almost hold what you're doing along with imagining what everybody's, you're trying to, like, be the person going, you good? Are you good? Are you good? And you're basically building models of these other minds in your head and having to manage them, so that when you get into either that one-on-one dialogue, or you were talking about hitting that zone where it's the music, at that point, you're no longer, the brain goes, fuck all that shit, we're doing this.
Not well, he says, not really for me, and I'll tell you why. Because in my head, and this would never happen, and I understand it would never happen, but I'm just putting it in perspective so you can understand what the fuck I'm saying. Like, in my head, the only way that my stage fright would ever go away is if everybody were to turn around and look the other way. And I'm speaking to the back of their, you see?
No,
I'm speaking to the back of their head.
I could completely like hear you out, and I hear you out too, because it's like, if everybody turns around, like, man, I'm fine. Yeah. But at the same time, when you say, like, when you lose yourself in your head and you're like, well, fuck everything, you lose yourself too, and it's like they're not even there anyway. You know what I mean? So like it's like you're playing with yourself.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, honestly, it is, and I like getting into that state of mind to where it's like, you know what, like I'm already here, and once I get in that zone, it's like, okay, nobody's here with me anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's me by myself. Yeah. You know that's another reason why I have a tendency of putting on my shades on, because I don't like people looking into my eyes. Dude,
I was about to ask you that before you said it. The shade thing. I was gonna ask you if that was the purpose behind it. The reason as to why I point that out is because, like I said, I don't know how extensive you are with comedy.
Yeah.
But there was a very famous one-liner comic, Mitch Hedberg. Mm-hmm. He had severe stage fright, and he said that the only way that he was able to get through his performances is to wear shades.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't have put it more perfect, bro. He said, because I feel that if I wear shades, I can't really see the crowd in its entirety. So if I can't see them in their entirety, I feel like they can't see me. He's like, I know they can, but in my head, I feel like they can't. Yeah. So he's like, I wear shades on stage. And that's why almost every single performance that you see, he was wearing shades.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, because I've seen sets that he's done probably earlier in his career where he wasn't wearing the sunglasses, and the delivery and the cadence wasn't quite there. Whereas when you watch him, there's a great one where he did a 30-minute special for Comedy Central, and the way they record those is they get 6 or 7 comics, and they just record these things back to back. And the crowd ended up being a bunch of tourists from Argentina or something, no English amongst any of them. And he's like, oh, that's great. I'm filming my special and y'all don't understand a word I'm saying. But at some point you can see, watching the unedited is fantastic, because like I was saying earlier about watching how the soup is made, you can see him work his way through it. Professional fucking guy. And then they added in a laugh track. I'm going into too much detail. My point being is you see him at some point slip into that mode of comfort. Hits his delivery and all of that. And the crowd goes away. You're not even concerned about what's going on with them. And
and I don't know if it's the same, if it's the same for comedy. What if the crowd goes away? You know what I mean? Is that better for you? You know what I mean? Or do you have
it's a double-edged sword, man, because if they do fucking go away, then there's nobody to laugh.
well, not literally, but you know what I mean? But in your head, you know what I mean? Do you want to get to that state of mind?
Yeah, I want to get to the state of mind where it'd be awesome if I could literally vividly picture an empty theater or venue wherever I'm at, and with just one person in the middle. I would murder that crowd.
Yeah.
If it was like that. But it's just it's never like that. So in the good thing that helps me as a person and as a comic is that I've always also been very strong-minded. I'm very strong-minded, dude. Very, very strong-minded. So I'm able to dominate the fact that I keep thinking to myself. I keep thinking my set's almost over. They're laughing. I'm going to be off stage in a minute. So when I get in that mind frame, and especially, bro, when the crowd is laughing their ass off, I feel like the 10, 15 minutes that I'm up there, it feels like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
By the time I remember, I got the light that I got to get my ass off stage. You know what I mean? So it helps. But like I was saying earlier, it's a double-edged sword, because if I got 15 minutes to do, I go up there, I start dropping jokes and punchlines, and they don't laugh. Oh, fucking 15 minutes seem like an hour, bro. It seems like it's an eternity to you know what I'm saying, to get through it or whatever.
Yeah, I could imagine.
But yeah, I just wanted to tell you, that's how I deal with the stage fright. To see if you could take some of that, and it could also
that does actually it does actually help. You know what I mean? Hearing somebody else that has stage fright, you get some advice as well.
And it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy how like when first of all, it's crazy when people find out that I do comedy because there's some that is like, dude, I didn't even know you were funny. That's one thing I get, and the second thing is they trip out when I tell them that I do comedy, and then I was like, I have stage fright. How the fuck does that work? You know? So
yeah, I know, man. It doesn't even make sense. It's because it, like I've told some of my friends, like, man, I want to like, you know, like do music and stuff. You know what I mean? But like when it comes down to it, like I suffer with this.
Do you know
stage
how
fright,
long
you know what I mean?
it took to get him on that stage?
I honestly can't even hold a conversation with, like, if we were in like a little group and and if I was supposed to go up there to talk,
yeah, I'm the same way.
I'd like walk out, bro. Like, I'd walk out, and it's like, how do you want to be a musician when you can't even do that? You know, what I mean?
We were just talking about this yesterday. I think with one of my coworkers, and she was laughing her ass off because I told her. Well, she was already laughing because I told her that I was a comic, and I had to say she had enough with that. But then she laughed even harder when I told her that I was a shithead in school, bro. Like I had shitty grades, everything. You know, all I knew how to do was drugs in school, and that was it. Anyway, but I almost didn't graduate. Right, I was literally 2 credits short, or a credit and a half, and they were like, "Dude, if you do not get this credit and a half or whatever, you will not graduate." And I was like, "All right, well, fuck it. Like, what do I do just to get it?" And I was like, "You have to take an elective." And everything was taken, bro. You know the only thing that was left? Speech.
Oh,
yeah, dude. So there was 2 parts to the speech class. The first semester was all writing. It was all writing. It was creative writing and normal shit like that. Killed that shit. Aced it. The second semester, nothing but fucking presentations. And I failed. You know what they literally had to do? Because they wanted to get me out of the school. The very last day, the head of the department approved that I take a written final test, and I passed it, and I graduated. But I did not pass the presentation. I just couldn't, bro. I couldn't.
I'm sorry, but I aced all of that stuff. I'm amazing. I could speak in front of everybody. He knows this about me.
I can't do that. No.
Yeah, man. So
I can speak in front of crowds and crowds and crowds. Let me at it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say when I said I don't have. I'm thinking about it. Shit, I just said on fucking a podcast that I don't have stage fright. It's not the same thing as that, because I discovered about myself a long while ago. I am an exhibitionist in the sense that if somebody gives me the okay, it's like, here's a mic, go ahead. All right, fuck it. We have consent. Let's go for it. But once you're up there, I mean, you're saying you're great in speaking in front of people. Do you find a natural flow to it as far as the content of the speech?
Well, actually,
I can bullshit for hours. But
it all depends on what I'm speaking about. I think if it was actually giving a speech, it depends on what I'm giving the speech about. If it was a pre-written speech, if I wrote the speech, I'd be able to speak it. I read it. It depends, because I can speak to a stranger. Like if it was nothing.
Would you be able to do a TED Talk?
What's that?
Oh shit. Well, a TED Talk is normally, it's like you just said right now. It's
technology, education, and development.
Development, I believe.
A TED Talk.
TED Talk, yeah.
It's a TED Talk.
TED
Talk?
TED Talk.
It's an organization. They basically gather a bunch of like specialists in their field together, and these are all like, it's basically a crowd full of people who can probably call the other people on their bullshit.
If it was like concerning business, because like I'm a business major and stuff, I'd be able to. I would talk out of you.
That's what I was gonna say. The only reason I use that example was that the thing about a TED Talk is that everybody speaks on a certain topic.
Yeah, if you were to sit me down with like business majors and all that stuff, I graduated business with college and stuff. I'd be able to run a business. I could do anything sit me down with them. Oh my gosh.
I got you.
I out business a gentleman today. I mean, I outsold everybody today at the dealership. Okay, sit me down with them.
I'm sensing a lot of yin and yang here.
Yeah, we're completely different.
Okay.
He's quiet. I'm loud. That's completely, I can
to
talk
myself,
to
man.
yeah, I can talk to strangers. I mean, I can keep conversations. I can go.
And see that's where we're
level out.
Yeah, that's where me and Chris like we're a lot alike because like
And I think that's what it took for him to get out there, because he would have never gotten out there had I not been like, come on, Chris, you can do this, and he would be like, I can't do it. And then finally I had to reverse psychology him. I was like, you know what, you're right, you can't do it. You're just a waste of talent. You're just sitting there wasting your talent. And he's like, you know what, I can do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do it. And you know what? He went out there and he fucking did it.
First time, yeah.
He did it. That's exactly what he did.
You were talking about the.
I was tired. You know, he needed to do it.
You were talking about the idea of, say, the audience, or I forget which one of you brought it up, but the idea of the audience basically turning their back on the performer.
Freddy, yeah.
I had a buddy of mine who's a great musician, songwriter. Loved the shit out of him. I'm his number one fan, I think. But for years, it was the same thing. It was a massive struggle to get him to actually perform in front of people. And the only concept that kind of sparked him in the early stages. I mean, now you can throw him up anywhere. As long as you get him out of the house and on there, he's like, fuck it, I might as well play.
Yeah.
Which is great. You know what I mean? It's, fucking finally. But for years, what his idea was, he wanted to play in front of a screen. So like he would be facing the other way, like not only with his back to the crowd, but with a screen in front of him and the crowd.
Oh, Chris. Oh, Chris.
And it was like, fuck it, dude, we'll set it up. Just come on, go, do it. And I mean, I'm wondering, that's one of the reasons I brought up the empathy thing, because it's a lot about building the models of not only, because, you've got, I know how I feel and my shit's complicated. Their shit has to be more complicated because, and it's a matter of building up maybe a concept of what the performance is. You know what I mean? More and more. Like, you've been playing for how many years now, like publicly?
A year and something.
A year and a little bit.
Okay, right on, man. But
like consistently,
but publicly, right?
Yeah, consistently, like out in public, I probably done like 20
about 20 something
probably
shows.
like 20 shows, maybe.
And these are at varied venues, right?
Yeah, just various places and stuff.
Right on, man. So you've kind of got that database to build the not ideal necessarily in like the perfect, but like the ideal of what is an archetype maybe of what is the performance.
But he loves to play.
It comes through. It really does.
I do love to play, and throughout my whole performances, I've never ever liked one. And I'll be honest about that. And I can tell everybody that. And everybody's like, man, you killed it. And I was like, man, I hated it.
It's crazy that you say that. Fucking crazy that you say that, because I feel the same way.
Why are y'all your own worst critics? Are you the same?
I've gone back. I've gone back and seen myself on video. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I literally think that I asked my ex-wife once. I was like, is this really the shit that people see? I was like, no wonder they fucking walk out.
No,
I walk out.
And I tell him, I was like, babe, you were so amazing. And he's like, you always say that.
I know, and I hate. I honestly, okay, I can't say I hate it, but I don't like when she says that because I hear it all the time. And
He feels
but in my head,
unbiased.
like I see it. And
No.
It just
It's what you
replays
need
in
to
my
understand.
head,
It's not biased. Like we're
Ultimately, I feel it's amazing.
No, because
earlier you said he was sexy, Freddie. Don't lie. You said he was.
I said he sounded sexy. There's a difference. There's a difference. No. But for real, like I look at. well, I can't say it without explaining the process. So I write, right? This is the way I go through my process. I write my jokes, whatever. Then whatever I set on, this is the set that I'm going to run with. I memorize it, and I memorize it by reading it over and over, record it. I play it back in my ear, and I'm listening to it, and I learn it. After I learn it, the last step before I go test it, I have a big mirror in my bedroom, and I perform it in front of the mirror. So the reason that I perform it is because I need to see exactly what it is people see when I perform, because part of my performance, I don't know, depending on the joke, I don't know if it'll require me to do a hand movement, to do this, do I point this way, where exactly on stage do I need to be, so on and so forth. This is why I do this process. My point is, going back to what you were saying and going back to what you were saying. When I see, no matter what you say, you can say I'm funny, just like everybody else says that I'm funny and everything. Like, what I see in the mirror, I don't like, because it's not to me. It's not appetizing. It's not like, okay. Let me explain it this way. I wouldn't go see me on stage.
Would you go see yourself, Chris?
I've never had, like, honestly, like, I just
That's a
play
weird
just to
question. I'm all
play,
asking you.
bro.
Would you see yourself?
I just play just to play, and all the performances that, like, she records them, and
you know
everything.
why?
No.
I record him every time.
And you know why I do it? I do it going
The
back
way
to
you're doing the mirror, like I watch him and record him, and then he goes back and watches himself to see what he needs to correct.
yeah.
And every time he's like, I messed up. I'm like,
So what I do is what I do is, like, I go back and look at it or whatever, but it's not, like, aside from the fact that I don't like it, it's just, it's weird. Like,
so what you're saying, it's not just him, it's all of you. You all are your own worst critics.
Yes.
So nobody's ever happy.
Yeah.
100%.
No, except for, I'll never forget, except for Kanye West. Y'all remember that shit that he said on live TV? He said, and I quote, I'll never forget that quote.
George
He
Bush.
said, "My biggest regret is the fact that I know that I will never get to see me perform live."
Oh, I think
How-
I did.
Well,
I do
okay.
remember.
There's another model of and I was going to bring this up in regards to the stage
Kanye
fright.
West sucks.
I think aside from the empathy angle, there's also the over ego. You know what I mean? Where I don't know if you've
Thank
ever.
you.
I've seen comics go out on stage and you can see them so much like no, this must be perfect, that they're not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with musicians too, though, I think to a lesser extent, because there is the interaction with the instrument, and then music is a different thing. It's not like speech. It's a different
I'm a
tool.
poet.
Right. The spoken word it's activating a different part of the brain. If I understand actually some of the neuroscience I've looked at, it's when you're singing, that's not the same tool.
As the poetry that you would do.
He's a natural lyricist, poet, everything. It's all in the word. It's all in the music, man.
And where I was going with that was that the reason that I do it is just kind of, I bet, like you just said right now, I just do it because you said I do it because I love to play. Okay, well, the only reason that I do it is because I love making people laugh.
Yeah.
So that's my high.
Yeah.
Every time, and people don't understand that either. People don't understand how you get high off laughter. And I tell them it's a really big high. Like, it's when you see the fact that you released dopamine in somebody else's brain because of something you said and that reaction that you caused, like that's all I need from you. And that's why I do it. But what fucks me up is just don't show me, don't let me see me, is what I'm saying. Because then that fucks me, because then it's like, I would not watch me. Definitely. Well,
Yeah, and that can fuck up a lot of performers where they get that idea of, early on you'll do, what say a professional would charge, a couple $100 for. It's like, $30 in the pizza. It's like, all right, cool, man. Whereas it's the undervaluing of your own performance. Don't get me wrong. Humility is great, but the over self-consciousness to the point of the neuroticism of like, I must be perfect. That can fuck you up.
Well, I mean, Chris is very humble. That is one thing, but I mean, I don't know if he's going for perfection. I'll tell you that, but he has a lot of. He'll never be perfect to him. I
honestly never will, man. There's always going to be something that's
wrong with him.
That's going to bother me. Like,
but that's
I think acceptance of that can be beautiful, man.
Yeah, but that's normal though. That's something.
I think that's okay, and that's
yeah.
Good.
That's normal. That's normal because it's a fact. And as long as you can, like Sean said, cope with that fact, the fact that you'll never be perfect, that's number one. As long as you can get that under your belt and be okay with it, that's number one. Number two, it makes it a great thing because that thought of you thinking that you're never going to be perfect will always keep you on your toes to make sure you continue to chase perfection. Yeah. Something that I remember that somebody told me, I don't remember who, they said to always be on the chase for perfection is good. To obsess over it is bad. So as long as you chase it, you're fine. Because you'll always be on your toes. Just don't let it obsess you, because when you let it obsess you, you'll stop everything else. And you'll just focus on that. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Yeah. You'll focus on that one thing, and that one thing will kill everything else. So yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with, well, I mean, I'll speak for myself when it comes to this part. I don't know about Sean, but with writing, when I started writing these jokes and stuff, I used to always focus on like, it's got to be funny. 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 And I would focus so much on trying to make it funny that it wouldn't be funny. The more I tried for it to be funny, the less funny it was. When I started focusing, my main focuses was honesty. I switched them out for honesty and just writing the best piece that I could write. Then funny came. Funny came on its own. With those two combinations, and then I didn't need to try to make it funny or whatever. And then I'm not gonna lie, there's just some ideas that they just pop into your head, and you're like, "Oh, that's funny," and you write it down, and it is funny. I mean, that does happen, but I mean, just like don't chase it, because then you'll never catch it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So yeah, like don't focus on like it's got to be good. Don't get to the point to where you were getting that you were saying it's got to be good. It's got to be good. If not, I'm not gonna perform it, because then you won't get anywhere.
Let me throw a question at you, if you don't mind talking about it. Not necessarily interested in like what took you into the 6-month funk, but what was the process coming out of it?
Just the process coming out of it was, for me, was just trying to like refine myself and who I was and what I wanted to do with my life in general, you know what I mean? Because like when I got into that state of mind to where I just got on a lockdown, it's like I just completely forgot about everything, man, and I was just like in a dark state of mind to where I had to like try and climb out of that, and you know, like having people support and tell you like, you know, just like refocus, remember what you want to do, and like me trying to remember, okay, I want to try and help people out that are living in what I'm doing right now for that freaking 6-month period. So I would listen to my songs, to listen to the way I used to be like back then, and get inspiration out of that. And just like that kind of helped me out. Like, you know, some of my own stuff like kind of helped me out, you know, like, and me rethinking like, okay, this is the reason why I want to do this. This is the reason why I want to do this. I have to like get back on my feet. slowly built myself back up, and like I need to put myself out there because like honestly that's like all I want to do. Like I just want to help people that are at their rock bottom, bro, like that are on their last straw, you know what I mean? And that's what I want to do. Honestly, that's what I want to do. Like,
And I just feel that when you say that, because it's not the first time that I hear you say that, that's what I wanted to let you know. The fact that you say that, and I can feel and I can see that you genuinely say it, you're that's what makes me feel, and I just wanted to reaffirm to you that you're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So keep doing it for those reasons, and I promise you, everything else will come. Like, and I'm telling you because, like I told you before, I was on the flip side of that coin.
yeah.
My mentality first was like, I need to get more people. I need to land in front of an agent. Somebody important needs to hear me. When I was forgetting everything else, I was forgetting that the most important people were the fans. I mean, without every artist, no matter what artistry you do, you're nothing without fans. You know what I'm saying? But first and foremost, you have to do it cause you love it, and you gotta keep that doing it for that love, and you say, I'm doing this art form because I know that I can impact somebody in a positive way. That should come first, and then everything else will follow after that.
I mean, I'd like to add something to that. I'm going to be as honest as, I mean, I've said it, I'm as honest as it comes, and he knows it too. I think that those 6 months from the time I've known him, and I think we've been friends before we've been boyfriend and girlfriend. We'll be friends in August for 3 years now, I think, right? And
Friends. So the friendship is 3 years old.
Friendship, yeah. Well, friendship is 3 years old. Well, we've been exclusive since July, and I think that those 6 months, I think, was the hardest in the friendship I think I've ever seen him. I think I've never seen him at such a low point. And I think it was just so much that he had taken on. And he was trying to be pulled in so many directions.
Yeah.
He wanted this and he wanted that. And he, he had so much going on with, work, and, he had me, and it was just everything. And he wanted to do music, but he just didn't know what direction.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was just lost in everything. And I thought, I was going to lose him as well. But I think in here. And I didn't know how to get him back.
And it's awesome that you said that as well. And I wanted to tell you this, Chris, as well, which is crazy because it was the next point that I was going to make in regards to exactly what you just said right now. Like, and it's with everything, man. It's not just entertainment or music or comedy. It's with everything. Something that you always want to keep in mind is every individual in here and every individual in the world, we all have a center point or a center thing. What I mean by that is we all have something that keeps us level-headed. Something. It's different for everybody. And by this, I'm not endorsing drugs or anything. I'm just using an example. For some people, it's drugs. For some people, it's meditation. For some people, it's drawing. For some people, it's writing. For some people, it's exercising. We all have at least one thing that keeps us level-headed. So my point with that is, as an entertainer, musician, whatever you are, I really strongly feel that no matter what happens, no matter how much money you obtain, no matter how much fame you have, never lose or let go of that one thing. Because I feel that when us as people let go of that one thing that keeps us centered, that's when you start to lose it. Like you said, you start to lose it mentally. You start to lose, you just like lose yourself because you let go of your center point.
Yeah.
So and a lot of huge people, man. That's why I really don't feel that, because of fame, dude, is scary. That's why I don't want to be famous. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not looking for fame. I just want to make people laugh and have a salary where I can take care of my daughter, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't take a lot. If I could accomplish that, it's cool. Like that's all I want. But so back to what I was saying, because like fame is scary, man. If you fuck with it, and if you don't control it, and you let it take a hold of you, it'll tear you apart. Point being, when you let go of that thing that keeps you leveled, that's why I feel that a lot of people, huge people, they just end up going fucking crazy and shit, and then they get led into drugs, and then everything else unravels from there. That's why I feel that it's something very important that you never let go of it. And if you, because there's people that'll tell you, well, I don't know, man. I don't know what keeps me, like, I don't work out, I don't do this, I don't write, I don't know what keeps me level-headed. And I tell them, well, find something. You can find something. It could be anything. Anything that keeps your mind kind of at ease. Like I said, meditation. People do different things. Whatever, you got to find what works for you, and you got to run with it and not let it go. I believe in God, right? So I pray. I pray, and it kind of helps me also stay leveled to a certain extent on what I do and what I don't do, and stuff like that. So it's just something that you know, don't forget that that's what you hold on to, and I'm just telling you this because of like the career choice that we wanna take. So and it can get very scary and very very difficult. That's why I've never been a fan of the industry making little kids celebrities, because they're not ready for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's crazy like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I get from like what she would, and you've been through it. Whatever it was that you were going through, something grabbed a hold on you, and if you don't, that's what I'm saying. Like if you don't have that one thing that you can kind of stray to kind of get you back leveled and on track, like you can get lost, man.
Yeah, but like he said, he had amazing support, and you know what? He climbed out miraculously. He did. He climbed out, and he
I know this too, because I've been dealing for the past couple of years. I've been dealing with depression, and I had never dealt up until like 2 years ago, man. Before 2 years ago, I'd never known what real depression. I've been sad before. Everybody gets sad, but I had never really known what like real depression was like until like 2 years ago. And it's fucking scary, dude. Yeah. Like I've been down some holes that it's like, holy,
it's darkness.
It gets dark. It gets darkness. Dark. It gets really dark really quick. You know what I'm saying? And again, it goes back to the same thing. If you don't have that thing where you can figure out and maneuver your way out of it, it'll grab a hold of you, and then it's a bitch. So I've been, as far as that's concerned, at least for myself, that's why I kept telling. I've shared these conversations with Sean, and it's like I've learned that through comedy has been able to kind of help me deal with with my depression. So like it's kind of like a medication that I'm because this is another thing. I don't take pills. I don't because I feel I mean, no disrespect to anybody dealing with that and taking medication. If you feel that you need that medication and it's helping you out, all the power to you. I'm just afraid of taking pills. The reason I'm afraid of taking pills is because I have a very addictive personality. Anything, and I'm afraid of taking them and liking them, and then I don't want to go down that cycle. You know what I mean? So I try to like not. So I don't take anything. I just figure out other ways to like deal with it, to cope with it. Music is a great one, and like I said, I pour everything into comedy, and my kid. So my kid helps a lot. She doesn't know it yet, but yeah. So I wanted to get back to the you mentioned something about recording in a studio. You wanted to record your music. I mean, as much as you can share, but what I wanted to ask you was, like, how close are we to that? Like, is that?
It was that actually was just a thought that popped in my head probably like last week, and once I get like that thought in my head, like it's not gonna stop until it happens. You know what I mean? So I know it's gonna happen. I just don't know when it's gonna happen. I just need to figure out what studios are where, how much they cost, and all that stuff. So I need to get more details on all that stuff. But.
Well, man, something I want to tell you. Like I said, I'm not a techie guy. The only studio that I knew down here when I used to record rap music and shit, it closed down. It used to be in Edinburgh. It's a boxing gym now. So I mean that was the only one that I knew of. But I did want to tell you. If there's ever anything that I could do to help and get you there, or anything possible, I'm here to help you, man. Because you got I really mean it, man. You got that talent that it would really suck if like don't
He's got that fire.
Don't be my live Rakim and Dr. Dre, man. I need to see that album.
He's waiting.
Coming out 2019.
So I mean, anything that we can do to make it happen.
Yeah,
I encourage you to continue to do live shows, because that's not. I don't want to say it's the only way, but it's one of the biggest ways that you're gonna create your following, and that you're gonna sustain your following. We live in a very digital world where people are just content hungry, so they just want, man. So it's on us to feed them that and not let off, and that's how you'll like. I'm just telling you this because the talent in the music is there. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to worry about continuing to feed it, and to keep it going.
And hopefully that's what I'm gonna do. Like in 2019, man, I'm just gonna try and just like do as many shows as I can. Like I've been trying to find open mics. That's why I asked you yesterday. Yeah,
and I was glad I was able to.
Because
and I was on my way there. I was like, hey man, shit. Well, I'm gonna do this one tonight. So that's why I also made it a point, because sometimes depending, and again, man, don't take it personal. It's happened to me, but depending on who's hosting, sometimes and how late they run, sometimes they'll forget. Like they'll forget. Oh shit, I got one more, and like they'll forget or whatever.
Yeah.
But don't take that personal. That's why that time I was making sure I kept telling Jesse, because Jesse's fucking forgotten about me before. He doesn't do it on purpose, bro. But like he's forgotten. So that Tuesday I made a point. I was like, don't forget, before you have the house band come up here, you got Chris coming up and shit. So he's like, oh no, I got him. So and like I was telling you out there, as you continue to go through your career, you're gonna deal with a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of it. So just, it sucks to say it, but just like kind of get used to it, and eventually you'll learn to kind of weed it out. And
Yeah,
but I mean,
sense.
it comes with it.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, like I've only taken like a step in the puddle when there's like a whole ocean.
Yeah.
And with that little puddle, like I've already gone through so much, you know, like little dramas here and there and stuff like that. And I haven't even began to get to where I want to be. So I could imagine, you know what I mean?
Got his feet wet.
I could imagine what more is, you know, to come. And
So
stuff
let
like
me throw this question out there to you, and I don't want to go too far out because I don't want to give you too much to think about, because I can see how your mind can wander.
No, yeah.
And I don't want to stress you out, but 5 years from today, where do you see yourself musically? You haven't thought about 5 years ahead? You're like, fuck this, I'm trying to live for the moment.
like all I know, like, which I continuously tell, you know, I tell Tiffany, I tell her, and I tell my mom, and I tell my dad, I'm like, I don't know, like, I just know, like, this is what I was meant to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not looking for the fame or anything, but I know for a fact that it's gonna happen, you know what I mean? I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I know it's gonna happen.
Oh, no.
I feel like it's gonna happen, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm gonna be out there. You know, like,
No, and I'm not saying I wasn't asking you like when is everything gonna happen? Like, when, I wasn't asking
just like
like,
in 5 years.
Yeah, in 5 years.
Okay, in 5 years, I'm gonna be in this exact same spot doing your podcast.
I don't know if that's a fucking good thing.
And then you're
or
gonna be
bad
asking
thing,
me the same question. Hey, so
Where do you see
now
yourself in
where
5
do you
years?
see yourself in 5 years?
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about that statement that you just made. If in 5 years you're on this podcast, but in this same spot, something out of went horrible.
One of us fucked up.
I want to take this shit out of my house. You know what I'm saying? So no, but yeah, man, I get you. I completely understand.
That's being completely humble right there. He's like,
Yeah, man. Like I see exactly what you're saying. I just tend to ask that to like every artist.
Yeah.
Because I want to see if they're. It's like that saying that they have, where they say, "Don't dress for the job that you have. Dress for the job that you want to get."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of the same mentality. Like don't stick to the like. It's cool. It's also cool to like say no. I'm thinking about now and I'm living today because today will get me for tomorrow.
in 5
It's
years,
cool.
we'll be in the tour bus.
Yeah. See, like no, but I'm saying it's cool to think that way because it keeps your feet on the ground. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Claim it.
So. But it's also good to like. I don't want to say it so much as like goal setting because goal setting is good. But I'm saying to have a vision of like, okay, in 5 years, I should be here. Now, if it doesn't happen in 5 years, don't hammer yourself over. It's like, fuck, like, why didn't I get there? What happened? No, it just didn't happen. It took you a little longer to get there. But as long as you have that thought of like, I will get there, kind of like you said right now, you're fine.
Well, this is kind of what I was getting at with the idea of building up the archetypical, you know, what is the performance is because I think that's kind of the way we use what we use to build up those kind of structures where you go, okay, where do I want to be? Well, to have that realistically, you have to have all the little mechanisms in place. And it's like, just getting to that point where it's like, you know, it's not the struggle to get on stage and do the performance. It's like, okay, that's good. Now let's do the rest of it. But to get to that, you build up those little models, man.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the thing that's difficult for a lot of creators in the early stages, which we're in, you know, is there's nobody there going like, okay, you got to look at these variables, not necessarily giving you the step-by-step what you got to do, but to go, okay, pay attention to this and you will figure out what you want from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's just like an everyday, you learn something new every day. You know what I mean? Like doing these like open mics and, you know, like all the shows that you've done, it's like you take one little piece of everything that you've gone to and it just keeps adding, and it's like another piece of the puzzle, and it just like keeps adding and you start meeting new people. You know what I mean? I met you, I'm here right now, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, so
and it's funny because like with something you said, something like you said something adding the pieces to the puzzle or something like that. Something that I did not do, that I kind of in a way regret doing when I started my career in comedy, was I feel now, because I've seen where I start, dude. When I started the very first time, and back in 2008, bro, it was horrible. I looked back and I was like, dude, I was horrible. I mean, not that I'm great now, but from where I was, it's like I see the transition. And I was like, back then I was horrible, you know. But my point is, like, I never, no matter how horrible I was, I regret not documenting it, even if it would have been short clips, because now I think to myself, I should have documented short clips so that when I did get to like the big stage per se, hypothetically speaking, I could bundle it all together and kind of really have a visual of like my career. Have you ever thought of that with like your music? Have you like all like, because I know she records you.
She records all the time.
But outside of those recordings, do you have anything before that?
Just like my very beginning, like me trying to make music on my old laptop was like my very first songs. Like,
do you still have that?
And it's completely different.
It's somewhere in my house, somewhere on a hard drive, bro. And I remember like coming across it, and I was like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? Like,
so dude,
like,
so this is what I'm gonna tell you. Don't make the same mistake that I did. That hard drive, cherish it like if it's the last thing in the world. And one day, bro, when you play Madison Square Garden and you sell out, you're gonna look back and you'll be like, what the fuck was that? You know, it's always good for reaffirmation, like to look at that, and because that will really reaffirm for you, like, I came a long way. It's kind of like what Tiffany was saying earlier. It's like, why are y'all's biggest critics? You know, kind of going back to what you were saying, we are our biggest critics, but once you build that catalog and you can look back, that's what gives us the reaffirmation. Okay, this is where I started. This is where I'm now. Like, all of this shit was worth it. And I think that's the only way that we'll never be completely satisfied with ourselves. Yeah. But that'll give us some sense of like security or what have you.
Yeah.
The reason why I bring this up is because, again, I kind of related it a little bit to comedy. Gabriel Iglesias just released his last special last night, and I was watching it. And the only reason I pointed out is because he was saying, he's like, I've been doing comedy for 20 years, and I still remember the first joke that I ever said on a hole in the wall club at a small stage. And he went on to say, I performed at these people's garage. He was like, it was a garage, one microphone, one monitor that halfly worked, and I performed in front of 5 people. And he's like, and he was at the Toyota Center in Houston, and it was sold out, and it was jam packed. And he was like, and now I'm selling out arenas. What y'all don't know was that there was 2 people that owned that garage, the owners of that house. They were my first 2 fans ever. And when they heard my 5 minutes of jokes, they told me, Gabriel, one day you're going to sell out arenas. He's like, well, I'm here and I sold out this arena, and guess what? My first 2 fans are in the audience, and he brought them out, bro.
That's crazy.
And they stood up,
That's
and there was like
amazing.
those 2 people there. Those were my first 2 fans, and it was their garage that I first performed in. And I
would have been crying.
and like that made me think. It goes back to that, like remembering that, and then being able to, like for us or for yourself, that you can record it. Like it's good to be able to have those first perform. I still have. Well, no, unfortunately, and something that, like I said, I do regret. I don't have the very first performance that I did ever, and I should have. It was like 5 minutes that I did, and it was horrible. It was bad. In a way, I'm glad that I don't have it, but then I think about it, and it's like it would have been good to like have, no matter how horrible it was. The only thing that I do have is one of the first performances that I did down here. I have them. I had to have it recorded, and I keep it because I plan to. I don't look back at it. I have not seen it. I've only seen it once, and it was horrible. It made me feel horrible because I was like, people watch this shit.
One of the first recordings I ever have of him is a video that he sent me of one of the first songs I ever heard of him, and it's called Our Names. And I fell in love with him with that song. And it's tattooed on my back.
Yeah.
So his ultimately his biggest fan. Besides his mother, of course.
Yeah.
And God. But so I really can't, I guess I'd say I'm his number 3 biggest fan, because his mom's his biggest fan. But
see, and that's the other crazy thing about it, man. I think about it now, and I feel. I mean, my mom loved me to death, and I love my mom wholeheartedly. She's the best mom in the world and everything. But like I'm not sure if my mom would have like ever like wanted me to do comedy, because I remember, I can tell you this, when I was a kid, I was like 7 years old, I think 6, 7 years old, because comedy has been my thing. Like it was my love, you know what I'm saying? So I was 7 years old, and I grew up in a Christian home, but I mean like 100% like Christian home, like crazy, you know what I mean? Like my mom and my dad. And I love comedy, right? So I remember I was 6, 7 years old when I first saw my first HBO comedy special, Richard Pryor. But I couldn't watch it because I couldn't watch it in my house. So I waited until everybody, we had just gotten cable, bro. We had just gotten cable. And I remember watching it late, a rerun, and I couldn't. I had to watch it with the volume down. I was literally like standing, sitting in front of the TV.
Which one you're talking about?
And I was like listening like that, and I was watching it. And I was real into it. And my mom caught me watching Richard Pryor live on or on HBO or whatever. And I remember, man, she whooped my ass, and then she said, you shouldn't be watching that. That's bad. And I'll never forget what she said. She said, that's bad, and you need to know that Richard Pryor is possessed by the devil.
He's the devil.
Yeah. I was like, well, damn. She didn't even say a demon or anything. It was the devil, you know what I mean? So I remember
Water
that.
Boy episode.
Yeah, man. So I remember that vividly, you know, but and I remember telling myself, I was like, man, like if comedy's so bad, why does it feel so good? You know? So
that and masturbation.
yeah, man. So but anyway, my point is, well, the twist that, or my point with that is that, but then my mom always told me that no matter what, she always wanted me to do whatever made me happy. So then I think about it, and like you said, like all you want to do is perform and sing and play your guitar, because that's what makes you happy, right? So I feel the same way, and I genuinely do feel on stage, aside from the stage fright, like is when I feel the most happy and most at peace. So I really do feel that because of that, like I think she would have been like happy for me and whatnot. You know what I mean? Yeah, so and I'm glad that I do it. I mean, my dad has gone to like one or two of my shows, and he probably doesn't understand shit that I'm saying, but you know he's there in the back row, and but I appreciate that kind of support. So my point to all of that, man, is like Tiff was saying that your mom is your biggest fan. Like appreciate that a lot, because when you can get that support from that one woman in our lives, which is our mom, that shit is priceless.
Yeah.
Like if I had no fans, but my mom's was my only fan, like that's all I would need.
Yeah. Yeah, that really is all you need.
It's crazy.
I believe that.
Yeah, man. And just keep doing what you do.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was gonna ask you, if it's not too much to ask for, before you leave and we wrap up, can you leave us with one more song?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah.
You didn't sound so unsure about that. I don't want to pressure you.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, you sure?
I'm down.
All right, awesome, bro. I love this shit.
Okay, here. You need to hold on to these. Hopefully I don't fuck up like the last one.
What are you talking about?
Is it 4 or 3?
What are you talking about?
The If I Fall song. Is it 4 or 3? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
You're talking to her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, should I be answering?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, you can leave that. Figure out what. Test.
Beautiful, man.
Thank you, man.
Amazing.
Thank you. That was If I Fall. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. All right.
Freddy's
So that was If I Fall.
Freddy's all stunned. That was amazing.
I forgot I gotta keep
Yeah, you stunned Freddy a little bit.
Yeah, you need to find that studio. We need to find that studio.
Are you still doing home recordings?
Yeah, we do them every day.
Not actually. Well, just home recordings like me on the PA system, but nothing like I haven't really got back on the because I was recording myself on my PC and stuff like that, but I really haven't messed with that in a while. So all we're doing is just like practicing every night. She just records me. I look back over the video and I process what happened wrong and I try to fix it the following night. Okay. That's how we
Every
keep
day.
going. Yeah.
Every day.
Are you looking at least? I mean, don't get me wrong. Having the PC is great because you can. I mean, I don't know how into the after production you got, but having it on a accessible storage like that's great. But have you looked into just straight recording equipment? Hook something up to your output. I mean, because clearly what you've got here, as far as the, you can output this directly into.
That's what I say too. It's amazing.
See this little bugger right here is a digital recorder and this one's a little bit farther up the line, but you can get a basic one of these, which is a Zoom. I want to say maybe $100. Granted, it's an investment, but yeah, man. I mean, I'm just listening to the output is that you're getting a quality out of your system here that is more than enough to be doing, and maybe even just for your own use, but demos, recordings.
Listening to him on the headphones, it's spectacular.
Okay, well, I don't know what to say about that, but I should look into getting one of
Thumbs
those.
fucking up, man.
Man.
I'm just throwing that out. Honestly, I've been telling a lot of people that I know are not documenting their work to not even on that end, but just make the effort of making the recordings. I want to say even with that output you have, you might be able to do that into a phone if you had maybe a jack connection.
I'd like to invest. We'd like to invest in something like that.
You actually just I feel you, bro. There's a bunch of shit that he's told me that I was like, that doesn't.
We're gonna get back with you.
Okay.
But just to throw it out there as well, man. Right now, as we speak, they actually have that on special. Like right now, I just saw it 2 days ago at Hermes.
Really?
Yeah, so you might want to check it out. Yeah, and if you need another one, you might want to check it out too. I have no use for that shit, or at least I don't think I have use for that shit. So,
yeah.
The reason I know is because I went looking for a microphone, and they have a microphone on special too. The microphone that I needed was on special too. The only reason I didn't buy it is because I forgot to take my wallet. Yeah, and then they closed.
No.
They want money.
They want money.
I completely forgot my.
No, we're always looking for new investments for his music and stuff. So that's something that we
honestly,
appreciate.
for what that thing. Now, my knowledge on that thing, he knows more about it than I do, but I know what it does and what it's supposed to do and all of that. I know as far as that. So all I'm saying is, like he said, it's like $100 or whatever. But the things that you can do on that is just awesome, dude. Like you can use that shit to like record on the road. Like that's all you need. It's also like battery powered.
Like that's like it has like an XLR input or something. Or
This one right here is closer to 250, maybe 300. I can't exactly recall the price at the moment. But this one's got two XLR inputs, and it's got not 3.5, the smaller jack input in the back. And then it's got these two mics on top, which you can switch them from a 180 to a 90 degree, recording window, and they're not too bad. Like you can put that. It's got a mount back here, so you can put that on a tripod and actually mount it directionally. I haven't really played around too much with that, but the input and let's say if you just have this and well, like what you've got there, you can hook in at least 3 channels, and they're both in stereo. The output is not too bad. I want to say it's got maybe, well, you know, I'm not even going to guess at that. It's got quite a few output formats, you know, to wave.
Our own recording studio.
Out of
Oh,
yeah.
And it's what 2 AA batteries will run it for 3 and a little bit of change hours.
Does it hold its own memory, or you have to buy an external?
You have to get a card.
Okay.
But it's, you know, it'll fit.
Yeah.
You know what's on the market at this point. Yeah, you can fit a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, it's a.
You can find a cheap 16 gig, like, and you can fit a lot of shit in like 16
On 16 gigs, yeah, especially just audio, you could. Fit
Yeah,
hours and
exactly.
hours and hours.
Yeah, and then you got something like this, which is a. Right now, it's running off of power, but I can run the soundboard off of 3 9-volt batteries. I don't know if any of the people at home actually want to hear the shop talk, but fuck it, you're getting it, yo. Yeah, and that thing ups my output tremendously, and you can get larger units that run off of, you know, their own little internal batteries.
His brain is, I already know him very well. His brain is like going.
Yeah, mine
He's
too.
already going crazy
Mine
now.
too, bro. And you want me to tell you something more fucked up about myself? I actually went to school for this shit, and I forgot. Yeah.
Well, no, we really appreciate the
Yeah,
input,
thank you for
because
that
he's really you have no idea. Like, his brain's gonna go until he's gonna get all of this stuff. You have no idea. I already know him.
Yeah.
It's gonna be well worth it, bro. One,
Because
look,
he was
let
set on
me
this and
put
he
it.
got it. He was set on these,
Let me
he got
put it to you like this, because how she keeps saying it that it's gonna sit on you. I'm gonna sit this on you. Yeah, look at all this investment. I'm not saying go buy it all in one sitting and fucking go broke.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you invest in this and you see it as an investment now, I want to set this on you. Just think of that first royalty check, and then you'll be like, it was all worth it. That royalty check, bro. Just think of that. Think that that's what you're working for, and it'll all make sense. Yeah.
I wish I knew what a royalty check was.
Okay, let me. Thank you for being honest.
Man.
So royalties is when you record an album, and you put it out and you sell. It's all the money that you get
That goes to you after
after paid production, after paid everything, and then the reason it's called a royalty is because you continue to get that for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Well, I mean, as long as your album sells, you'll continue. And now they've changed the law as of like 2010, I think. You now get it up to like, I think it's 75 years after you die. Don't quote me on that. Somebody Google that shit. That's not.
We were kind of touching around that subject when we had Burton here, going over copyright and all that. The ability to make money off of published product at this point is vastly extended.
Yeah.
Thanks, Walt Disney.
We were recently watching a documentary over Tupac and all the royalties that were owed to him and stuff when he got murdered and stuff like that. And I mean,
so it's like basically, so you can understand, man, because I mean, I'm just like you, so you can understand, as long as you make good music while you make it, when you stop making it, those royalties will take care of you for the rest of your life.
Makes sense.
With the music that
makes sense.
That's part of the reason that Dr. Dre has the option to not put stuff out.
Yeah, because his music is still killing it.
He's still no, and forget his music still killing it. He's still living off of NWA checks, bro. That's just. It's funny how in a documentary he actually said once that he has, and he actually put it in a song, but in documentary he reconfirmed it. He says that he literally has Eminem checks that he hasn't opened.
And that's the truth.
And Eminem's
like
been around for like 20 years.
man.
So yeah. So
Dr. Dre
doesn't
has.
even need money.
He doesn't even need anything. Eminem's just killing it for him too. It's just crazy.
So just as long as you continue to make good music, you put it out,
for sure, man.
and that'll So yeah,
That's awesome that you believe in him that much, because I believe in him that much too.
Well, because like I said, man, I listen. Like I'm a real tough critic when it comes to music and shit, and I would not. I've learned. I'm not gonna say I've always been this way, but I've learned not to put people down when they suck. So now what I do is when they suck, I just don't say anything. Right?
I just try to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I won't say.
Well, see, at least you know that you're really good.
Yeah, like I won't say anything. But
you're gonna collect royalty checks.
But
Right?
when I do see something different and special that I feel that's different, I speak on it and I'll throw it out until somebody listens to me, you know. And I don't let it go. And like I said, with people that I just, you know, because I can see it, bro. I can see when I hear music and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? But I keep that shit to myself. Before I used to tell them, like, bro, you put the guitar down, bro. I used to be a dick like that, like, you know what I mean? But I've learned that, you know, just because I don't have feelings, it doesn't mean other people don't have feelings. You know?
Yeah, like I was saying the other day, man, fucking, you know, images of Belushi and Animal House just smashing that hippie's guitar.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes that's where open mics get a little bit difficult. You go, we're going to be here for another. Okay.
Yeah, man.
No, man. All fucking congratulations on the skill level attained, man. Like, your output is listenable at that's baseline, but enjoyable, sir.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much.
Get on the.
I appreciate it so much, and like I said, I'm always gonna be my own worst critic, so I'm never gonna tell myself like, man, I did.
Upset.
I'm never gonna tell myself I did decent. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
We've had
because
discussions over it.
but I appreciate like I honestly appreciate like all of your feedback and stuff, because like I do take it in, but I'm
won't
still
accept
battling
it.
myself. You know what I mean? I guess y'all are y'all are the same way. Y'all hear it a lot, like, man, y'all killed it. But then it's always you fighting yourself.
But the difference is that, like, with me, like, when people tell me that I killed it, like, I kind of know
that I killed it. I kind of know that I did kill it.
No. What I was gonna say was actually totally the opposite.
Oh.
I kind of know that I didn't. But the good thing about that is that it keeps me chasing.
Yeah.
Because I know, I keep telling myself I could, and this is what I shit you not. This is really what I tell myself. If they fucking think I'm funny and that I killed it, if they only knew how much better I could be. I literally that's literally what the fuck I feel. Like, if you really think I'm hilarious, I think to myself, if they only knew how much better I could be.
Yeah, you're like, you don't even know.
Yeah.
Man, you don't even know. Yeah, man, I hear you, man. I feel the exact same way.
So man, but
you were hilarious at the last open mic, man. You were hilarious.
I see, and no disrespect, but I know that I wasn't. But yeah, and I'll tell you why.
You were.
But I'll tell you why I wasn't. Like I told Sean that night, because he also told me, he was like, dude, with those two jokes, and he told me exactly which ones and how I said them. That's how I knew he was paying attention. So he told me and everything, and then he's like, dude, you killed it with that. Make sure you put that aside. He always tells me, when he finds something, he tells me, he's like, put that aside, that was good. So he told me. But the reason that I know that is because, like, that what you heard, that was rough. Like, that's rough material. I'm still working on it. I'm still polishing it. I'm still changing it. That's why I haven't integrated that into my set, and that's what I do at every open mic. That's what I use the open mics for. I go to try out new material and stuff. That's why when people tell me, honestly, when people tell me, "Hey man, let me come to one of your shows," when they say let me come to one of my shows, like an actual show, I have no problem with it because they're gonna get what has already been worked on, polished, prepared. It's like I'm serving you a steak dinner. You know what I'm saying? When they say let me come watch you at an open mic, no, you stay home. You don't want to hear this shit. You know what I mean? Because it's not, because you're gonna hear shit that's not. I might be serving you a raw piece of steak. Now, some people like it raw, but that's
I like rare steak. I like it.
Yeah. So, but also because I've heard the opposite, man. Like I've heard somebody tell, not me. They didn't have the balls to tell me, but somebody told one. This only happened one time. Somebody told somebody else that I knew that I sucked. He was like, well, what she told her was that I thought you said he was funny. That's what she said. But she went to an open mic and she didn't know that I was trying out new stuff.
Yeah.
And shit like that. That's why I don't invite people to like open mics. You're more than welcome to come to the show. I won't invite people to an open mic because, yeah. So, but yeah, man.
So next time we're gonna be at a show supporting you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
As soon as I find out the next date that I'll be here locally, because I don't think y'all can travel. I wouldn't make y'all travel, but
We do travel.
We'll travel, man. Just as long as I'm able to get time off, bro.
Let us know in advance. We
Man,
travel.
we really like traveling.
Yeah.
We love to travel. That's one thing we do often.
Awesome.
Yeah, if it's gonna support
If you can,
you know,
man, if y'all can,
Yeah, we've traveled to Austin to
if y'all can, that'd be great. If not, I'll be more than glad to let y'all know when I perform locally, and y'all more than welcome to
or even if it's
come
like a few hours away, you know, whatever. I mean, like just let us know, man, and we'll try our best to try and get those days off and arrange things.
That'd
and
be
we'll go
awesome,
check you out, man.
I greatly appreciate it. Let me know also the next time that you perform as well.
For sure.
And hopefully if you liked it and if you enjoyed it and if you were cool with it, if you want to come back to the LA open mic, there's Gerberia on Mondays.
I haven't tried that one yet.
On Mondays, you might want to try that. Luis is still running, I guess. No?
Luis will be hosting this next coming Monday, which
What time is that?
dates? I believe they start around 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
And then they run until 2 a.m. if they have to.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
And that one, the open mic runs to 2 a.m. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have like a house band, kind of like
okay.
They run from like 9 to 2 if they have to. If they run out of performers, then they end it early or whatever. So
man, it
so
sounds good,
y'all
man.
might want to check that out. Another thing that you might want to check out as well is why the fuck are we discussing this on camera? I don't.
Hey, they don't know, man. They don't know.
Anyway, I apologize.
If you'd like to visit an open mic,
I heard that the Flying Walrus is going to start. Did they start it already?
No, we called. They said that they weren't doing open mics, but are they going to start?
No, they weren't. They were at one point. They stopped. I think they switched owners. They started again, then they stopped.
Okay.
So then they're supposed to start again. I saw it somewhere online.
When?
Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it, but I believe that if they do start it, I believe they were going to have open mics on Sundays.
Yeah, I read that it was going to be on Sundays, but I'm not sure when because I did give them a call yesterday and they said no.
Yeah,
brings to mind. Are you familiar with Stokely's in Edinburgh?
Yes, he performed at
I
Stokely's.
did that one.
Right on.
And he performed Boys in the Magazine at Stokely's, and he
That's
was amazing.
They love good music, man.
Yeah, man.
And, shout out to Vinny.
He performed
Vinny.
he
I
did
made
the
that.
shot on the basketball shot from far away.
Been there.
The
They have like a
machine in the back.
No.
no. They have like one little
This
hoop
mini
with a Nerf
basketball
ball.
shot.
A Nerf ball.
I haven't seen
Okay.
that one.
like a Nerf basketball, and you had to make it from like 10 feet away, and it's like nobody's ever done it. Vinny
Vinny's
came
like-
up to me, nobody's ever done this. And like I shot it, and it was like a swish, and the crowd went wild.
Yeah, it was like
That's
we
beautiful,
did it
though.
the first time. I didn't even get close.
That's cool, man.
pretty awesome.
That's cool. But yeah, there's Stokely's on Sundays, and they're gonna start at the Walrus, and it's supposed to be on Sundays as well.
Okay.
So if I hear anything, I'll let you know.
yeah.
Do me a favor, if y'all hear anything before me, let me know.
Yeah, because he always has me scouting. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm always
Great.
trying to find different places.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
Yeah.
And like he's told you earlier, we're gonna travel to Houston. On
This is the part of the show where if you have any shows that you want to advertise, as long as they're a little bit far out, because this is going to come out in a couple of days, it's not live.
Okay,
so
okay.
just shoot out the dates. And also, if you have any social media where you want people to follow you or fan you or whatever, this is where you do it as well.
Okay, so right now I have no show scheduled, and I do not have any social media.
Well, ain't that a bitch? That defeats the purpose.
I honestly don't have any social media, right?
No, but we do have a special shout out.
Well, go ahead.
It's for Hannah Romero, one of our dearest friends.
Big shout out to
Oh,
Hannah Romero.
yeah.
We love her very much.
We know
She's
Hannah.
been- well,
Yeah.
she's been one of our biggest supporters.
Yeah,
and
man,
We love her
her-
very, very much.
Her and Damien. Her, Damien, and Miranda been supporting me from from day
Yeah,
one, bro.
yeah.
From day one, that's honest truth. They've been consistently. Right now, we haven't spoken in a while. With Damien, we spoke the last time we had him on.
Yeah.
With Miranda, it's been a minute. But
we don't speak to Miranda.
oh,
We don't, but
yeah, like she's been supporting me and stuff, and Damien's been behind me as well, since I started as well. So yeah, I definitely know where you're coming from.
that's cool. But yes, Hannah's been.
Yeah, big shout out to Hannah and Mom, Dad, Tiffany De Leon,
You're doing it wrong,
Fabian
bro.
De Leon.
You're doing it wrong, bro. You're supposed to do it like this. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Wait, I already know where the camera is. Hi, Mom.
Everybody does that. Everybody
I'm all looking over here. It's over here the whole time. Oh my God.
Hi, Mom. Hi,
Okay,
Hannah.
so hi everybody. I love y'all. Thank you for anybody that's supporting what we're doing. You know, big thank you to Freddy over here, killing it
Thank
with
you,
the
man.
comedy.
Thank you,
Mr. I'm sorry again,
Sean.
I
Mr.
knew-
Sean.
I knew
I've
it
heard
was
it like
Sean.
so many times,
I knew
bro.
it was
Oh
Sean
my
because
God.
he roasted him real good.
I know.
He did. I knew it was Sean because I was like, hey, that's Sean from the roast.
from the Roses.
Actually, the bit I enjoyed more was the next Sonia went up and started trying to go after Shane, only kept saying Sean.
That was so. You're like, why? You're like, no, why?
One after another. The host, him. Yeah, all right.
And Sean was like, I wear glasses.
You're like, why me? Why tonight?
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, man.
Yeah, man. So big thank you again, Sean and Freddie, man.
was
Thank you
great
for
having
having
me
me,
on,
man.
man.
It was a pleasure.
Whenever,
Thank y'all so much.
two things.
Get
Whenever
social media.
Yeah, that's one. Well,
Well, he does have a social media page that I do run, and you can find that on Cristofer. I haven't updated
Mike?
it.
I'm
Mike.
not talking to
Oh,
you.
he does have a social media page. I haven't updated it yet. You can find it under Cristofer. It's just Cristofer.
You have to spell it out.
Cristofer. Christopher.
Cool.
And I'll just update it, and it's under Facebook. So
And
that's how you find him.
And the other thing is, whenever you release your album, and this is, I'm not shitting you, this is for real. If you ever do release, whenever you release your album, it's got to be an album release party. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
make sure you
That
do
would be
that.
great. we're going to try to do. I also want to. We also discussed, trying to get him on Spotify, do something with Spotify and all that stuff too.
We can. Shit. Maybe I spoke too soon. I was gonna say, we can try and help you out once you get everything set up. We can try and help you out to get on Spotify. But we've been fucking trying to get on Spotify. So we're trying to put this thing on Spotify.
Yeah. Shout out to Stitcher.
Thank you, Stitcher, for having us on. But once you get everything going, man, once you have the material, like that whole social media and the platforms, that's easy, man. Just get the material together and you'll get on it.
Yeah, for sure.
You said you had no shows, right?
No, we're going to Houston to take him to see BMTH, Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah. Real quick, just to kind of throw a bone at you, so you can play with, to try to help you out. You should get together. You should get together with John. I can't pronounce his last name. The one that runs King Productions Promotions. I cannot. I'm sorry, John. I apologize. I can't pronounce his last name.
Hi to my babies.
This is where my dyslexia kicked in. Oliser.
Oliser. John. I'll send you his. Oh shit!
That's great. All right, that's. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to rush this along. I'm just like, man. We can get the details.
We're
gonna have conversations after this.
Okay, so
I'll give you once we get through this. I'll give you that information.
Yeah, just you know how to contact me. Just hit me up with whatever
we need
details
to get some information about all that information, that stuff too.
Yeah, and I mean, aside from the album release party, which we hope to get the invitations to.
Of course,
absolutely.
Of course.
We'd love to have you back in anytime. Like if you got,
man, I appreciate it so much. Thank you all so much
Jam
for having
session.
me. And again, thank you to Mr. Sean and Freddy.
Thanks, guys.
Definitely,
thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll be seeing you all soon.
Awesome.
Bye.
Beautiful.
You want to take us out?
You want to give them your social medias?
You can find me across the board on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Freddy G.
You can find me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com, as well as Hatfield Standup on Facebook and Twitter. You can find the audio version of this podcast at shoutengine.com/bouncing brains. You can find us on YouTube under Bouncing Brains. We don't have that custom URL yet, so we do ask that you hit the subscribe button. And that's the nicest way I can put that. Believe me, I'd like to shake you all. We should have the regular schedule back up and running soon. Hopefully we can have some more wonderful guests like Cristofer in here to, damn, y'all. Damn. I'm going to try to work hard on the audio quality for this because that was fucking awesome, sir.
And I really, all jokes aside, to the people still watching and listening, I really thank you and appreciate you for being patient while this hiatus that we had for a couple of months. Thank you. I saw the views for the last video and they're slowly climbing up again. So thank you for being so patient. I really do appreciate it.
Good cop, bad cop. Night, y'all.
See y'all.
Bye.